pretty sure I am already live. Something wrong with the broadcasting thing, I think. No, it should be there. Well, well. Oh, I see it now. Let me see the audio. Well, well. Oh, I see it now. Let me see the audio. Wow, it's gonna be on loop. So let's just. And I want to hear it if I. So let's just. It does. It does. Alright. Cool. Let me open up the chat. We're gonna play as Yal Heishton. He's not actually a Yal, by the way. He's a count, but no clue why he's called Yal. I don't know what Yal he is of. But what we're gonna do is, let me start and I'll explain what we're doing here. I watched House of the Dragon and I want to do something crazy with him. Of course. Why else would I play CK3 if not for King of the Wild Sea? I'm trying to recreating. I'm gonna try to recreate the sea snake legacy out here. The old House Valarian, King of the Narrow Sea, and gave up the throne to Viserys, and Viserys is dead. That the throne still exists. People don't respect the titles. They just assume that because the Kingdom of Westeros is a title, the Kingdom of Narrow Sea does not exist. It exists. There's a lot of minute islands throughout the Narrow Sea, and even that is a dominion. It just doesn't have to be land. Regardless, what we have here, similar to Narrow Sea, is the Mediterranean Sea. And Mediterranean Sea has been the focal point of some of the greatest empires that ever existed. Exhibit the Byzantine Empire, which initially was the Roman Empire, and it just fell and crumbled and shrink down to what it is now, which is the Byzantine Empire. Same goes for the Carlings. The greatest of the Carlings is Emperor Karl the Great, or also known as Charlemagne, Emperor of Francia and anointed Emperor of the Romans by the Pope. I don't remember the name of the Pope. Let me see actually. The papacy, title history, it was Pope Leo the Fourth, or maybe even before that. It was Pope Leo the Third. It was some Leo, at least I remember that much. It was Pope Leo the Third who anointed, Karl the Great, or Charlemagne, as the Emperor of the Romans, because he conquered. Let me show you how much. You see the Carling, this whole territory was Charlemagne's empire. Destroyer, hello, yes, of course, I do remember you. What's up? Welcome back. It's been a very long time since you have come at my stream, but again, it's also been very long since I have streamed myself. So yeah, this was this Carling dominion. This was the whole of what Charlemagne ruled over, and after him did Louis the Pious. He was known as Louis the Pious, as he was a very pious king. And when he died, the empire got split between four kingdoms: West Francia, Middle Francia, East Francia, and sort of Italy. People consider Lotharingia, which is Middle Francia, and Italy to be the same. So they combined Lotharingia and Italy to form the Middle Francia. King Louis II was to inherit the throne of the emperor. He was supposed to become the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. What is this? This is a game called Crusader Kings 3, where you can play as any ruler all over Europe and Asia and Africa, North Africa at least, from the year 867 or 1066 AD. So 9th century and 11th century rulers, you can play as them and just go by history and change history if you want to, or recreate some historical events. Um, so yeah, this is one of my favorite games to ever that I've ever played, because A, it is about history. I love history. B, it is about it's very similar. It's basically like playing Game of Thrones, but in our on our planet, on Earth, basically in a medieval time. It's sort of like Game of Thrones. It's basically Game of Thrones, because you do all you can to make sure your dynasty survives. You do all you can to make sure your power grows. You become a king, and then eventually you become an emperor. Who knows? One day a rebellion might hit, and you will come down to become a small little count. So it's a very fun game. It's interesting, and it is the AI over here at this point is very strong. So the game is very unpredictable at times, and anything might happen. So, to give you a brief of what I'm trying to do is, again, the Mediterranean Sea was the focal point of early civilizations to upgrade. Basically, most of the civilizations that succeeded and then proceeded to other civilizations existed around the Mediterranean Sea. Most, not all, most did. And so this sea, the whole sea, has been very important point of for trade. So whoever controlled the Mediterranean Sea basically controlled the world, and that's why the Roman Empire is considered to be the most important empire in the history, because it shaped the future of the whole world, not just the Mediterranean, or just the Europe, or just Middle East or Asia. They shaped the future of the whole world, and everybody wanted to be the Roman Empire because they controlled one of the most important locations, which is the narrow sea between the two continents, between the three continents, if you consider Middle East to be Asian continent, which actually it is. Regardless, it couldn't be. You cannot hold on to this big of a dominion for too long. It had to fall, and the Roman Empire did fall. This you see over here, Byzantine Empire. This is what remained of Roman Empire. This technically is Roman Empire, but because they turned Greek and not Roman, and because they do not control Rome, Rome is over here, Pope is in Rome. Because the Roman Empire didn't have Rome, they had to give it a different name, and so they named it after this county over here. So this county is called County of Byzantium, and this is a very old Greek name of the city, the Byzantium or the Byzantion name, and that's how the name appeared. Regardless, what we're going to do is we're going to control the islands of the Mediterranean. So how much important of a role do these islands play? They did a lot, at least in the past, because Sicily was a very important location for traders and merchants to stop by, and so you had to pay tax for that. You had to, and Sicily was a great place to sell goods and buy goods. So can you do something so that the Roman Empire conquers the world? Yeah, so if you mean the Byzantine Empire, like reform, because if you play as the Byzantine Empire, there is a decision, not just for the Byzantine Empire, you can basically restore the Roman Empire. You can take whatever kingdom or duchy or empire you want, and you can reform the Roman Empire. So let me tell you what all Roman Empire consisted. Italia, Francia, Hispania, the Byzantine Empire, a little bit of Abbasid, and the northern portion of the Maghreb Empire. That was the whole of Roman Empire. And yes, you can form that in this, and you can indeed conquer whatever world is playable in here. It is very difficult. It is very, very difficult to hold on to it. You might be able to conquer all of it, but to hold on to it for too long, it'd be very difficult, because one person cannot hold on to this big of a land and take care of it, taking care of the rebellions that are happening, and you cannot be at multiple places at one time. But the fun part is to have a stable realm instead of an unstable large realm. And that is what happens to West Francia, Lotharingia, East Francia. They all crumble into smaller kingdoms. So you see right here, there are three big kingdoms. But if you go into what they will eventually become, you see there are 7 kingdoms that are gonna form after these three collapse. And that is what happens. You try to go for something beyond what you should, you eventually collapse, and that's the end of your reign. I mean, yeah, you can fight for it. You can keep the kingdom going. You can keep the empire, but it's just instead of doing that, you can just have control a small amount of land and keep developing it. For example, Roman Empire. Roman Empire have been ruling over Constantinople for more than 800 years at this point. So that's why Constantinople is a very, very important city. It is the most important city after Rome in the Mediterranean Sea. So yeah, regardless, let me tell you what I'm gonna do. So I have picked this one small little count called Count Hastings of Montego. Um, so yeah, wait. So I am reading your chat. You can make some sub rulers who take decisions. So technically, yes, that works now, and that is what Roman Empire did. Roman Empire at one point was not just one empire; it was a combination of four different empires, and four emperors ran the empire. They divided the empire between four emperors, and they ran the empire. But even that did not work, as not all the emperors agreed with each other, and they had a lot of infighting. And that is what happens when you install someone to work on, let's say I am West Francia, and you have Toulouse, the Duke Bernard II of Toulouse, handling this area. We see the white lined area. So he owns this land, not owns, sorry, he runs this land. This belongs to the King of West Francia, yes, but he has given the land to Duke Bernard to rule because he himself cannot rule all of the land. But then Duke Bernard can go against his own liege and declare that he wants independence. He might even fight for the whole kingdom. Things go bad, and not all sub rulers are gonna obey obey the king, which is fair enough. They're not bound to. Technically, yes, legally they should not fight against their own king, but they can, and a lot of times it does happen. Most of the times it happens, not just a lot of times. Most of the time it does happen. That is what happened to Byzantine Empire. Byzantine Empire was bigger than this. Bulgaria was at one point part of Byzantine Empire, but it fell apart. It kind of declared independence. I might be remembering this wrong, but I think it declared independence from Byzantine Empire, formed its own empire. So in about a few years, Bulgaria is going to form its own Bulgarian empire, but it's going to fall to the Magyars over here, and then whatever pieces remain of Bulgaria are going to be consumed by the Byzantine Empire eventually. So this is what happens. So basically, you want to rule some piece, and the game miss against you. Yes. So the right now I am controlling this one person. I'm not controlling everybody in this land. Yes, this is my land. You see this county of Montego. I like to call it Montego. I might be pronouncing it wrong. I rule this land. This is my land, but I do not control everybody else in it. I only control this one person by the name of Count Hastings of Montego. I have a wife called Vigdis. She computer controls Vigdis. She makes her own decisions depending on what her personality is. Right? The same goes with my son. He will, after me, become the Count of Montego. And it is up to me to make sure that I train him to be worthy of my position. And he might not be ready for it. He might not like it. He might not want it. He might even die before I die, which is very much possible. So you only control one person. Yes, you will rule the land, but you will control one person. It is not possible for you to control your wife, your children, or people, sub-rulers basically, or vassals, which is the right word for it, vassals. You cannot control your vassals. They will do what they want. You can influence them. That's the best you can do. You can be in good terms with them. You can be in good relationship with them, and influence them to stay under you. But it's a tough play. That's it. So that's why I said this is basically Game of Thrones. You have to be cunning, or you have to be ready to fight. It's a You can be the Robert Baratheon where you don't care about your vassals, and if the vassals rebel, you can just march on and just defeat all of them. You can be that, or you could be like Viserys Arya. You could be a very wise person trying to hold on to the realm with peace and unity, no wars, no infightings, nothing like that. Or you can be like you can be like Joffrey Baratheon. Just do whatever the fuck you want and then eventually die. Sorry, I did not see the chat. How was D&D? Oh, D&D was great. It was amazing. They managed to kill Raikard. They didn't die. So you can influence his son so that he becomes a warrior. Yes, yes. It depends on what you want him to become. Not completely, but you can try to move it in a direction. For example, my son is a charming person, and you see what it does. It gives him a +1 to his diplomacy skill and a +1 to his intrigue skill, and he's quick, so he learns things. He catches on things very quickly. So I can focus what I want to focus. So right now I'm doing diplomacy education. So I will not making him into a great warrior, but I will make him into a great diplomat. So he can talk his way out of wars, talk his way out of other things as well. So it's a different approach than what I was taught. So this character right here, Count Haitian, he's an ambitious, greedy, brilliant strategist. So he's meant to slay people. He's a Viking in a true essence. He has a lot of prowess, so in the battlefield he can easily defeat enemies. He has a lot of martial, so even behind the table, which is the planning table, he can make a battle plans easily. He's just good at battle and war, and he's just a great warrior. That is Heiston right here. But his son might not turn out to be like him, and that is fine. As long as he's a competent ruler and he knows what he's doing, that is fine. So right now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna move to the Mediterranean. I'm not in the Mediterranean. I am west of France over here. I don't want that. I want to move down here. So let's first attack this person here, Judaik Gublenu of Cagliari. He rules over these 3 lands, which in together are the Judicado of Cagliari, which basically is the Duchy of Cagliari. I'm gonna go for that. So I'm gonna attack, right click, declare war, and we're gonna do a Varangian adventure. So what the Varangian adventure is, I'm gonna abandon my land over here, and I'm gonna migrate all of my people, all my food, armies, horses, everything to this land. And we're gonna kill everyone who's already here, and sorry, not all. We're gonna kill the rulers over here, and we're gonna blow this land now. So declare war. Before I do that, let me increase my stats a little bit. Okay, and also let me become my son's guardian, so then I will be able to control what his personality becomes eventually. And now I can raise all armies. So this is my army right here, which is raising because it's paused right now. And I will right click here to just, so it gives it a direction. This is how they're gonna go in. You see, this is a very important point right here. This is called the Strait of Gibraltar. It is not exactly a piece of land or dominion that someone controls, but still it is a very important point because people mostly stop here at the Gibraltar to trade or to even resupply their ships and whatnot. So again, we need to remember that we need to eventually conquer this land, so we control what enters and doesn't enter the Mediterranean Sea. So right now let's go into Cagliari. I'm gonna just speed things up and I'm gonna play. So yeah, we keep getting notifications on the right side, by the way. There's a lot of things happening. So because put a toll thing there. Yeah, so because of the Middle Ages, And the strait is actually too big. It looks very small in game, but it is it's like at least a few hundred kilometers wide. So we can't really put a toll there. It's very wide. In game it looks small, so we can't put a toll there. But to controlling it is to basically control trade. And over here you can see there's not a trade port here. So if you click the city that is closest to the Gibraltar Strait, you see there are these buildings that are basically used to make money or used to attract more people to join your army. Now they don't have a trading port, so we can conquer this land and build a trading port there, which will give us a lot of money because it's a very important location to have a trading port. Same goes for the south here. Just below the Strait of Gibraltar, there's no buildings here. So whoever rules this land, this person, he's an idiot for not investing in a port in the county of in the city of Sapta. He just didn't. It's just a small fort there. He should invest in a port there. But we will do that because that is our goal. Our goal is to increase our trade opportunities throughout the Mediterranean and be crowned as the king of the Mediterranean Sea. Now, I'm having a little bit of a difficulty saying the word Mediterranean, but whatever. So this is the battle of Cagliari, because this is the capital. This is where we landed. They have 891 people. We have 3,900 people. That is a lot. That is a fucking lot. And we're gonna end up defeating them. You see the numbers decreasing. So every day we reduce a few of the numbers. But when it becomes 0, we don't kill them all. There's still a few retreaters. But you see there's 2 people who retreated. 2 knights who survived. And then yeah, everybody else is gone. And we captured the ruler himself. He was the Duke of Cagliari and we captured him in the battle. So we win. We don't have to siege. So what this does here is, we're gonna, if we didn't capture him, if he managed to run away from the battle and hide inside the fort, we would then surround the fort. Sorry for switching the cam. But if he does get inside the fort, we can surround the fort and we can siege it. It will take 7 months to siege the fort and have him surrender. And yeah, 100% done because we already captured him. No need to do. So enforce demands. So disband. And then this is his thing. To the rattling Jarl Heiston, may wisdom ever elude you. You are a much greater foe than I imagine. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply with your demands. And the demands is, we get this land. And we did. You see the blue line outside? That means we control this land. We also got 300 gold because we stole it from him. And we got fame because fame is very important in this. You need fame to take some large decisions. Sorry, I'm gonna move my capital to Cagliari because we need to build a trading port here. This is also a very good position to build a trading port. So now Sardinia, Jarldom of Sardinia, is our land, and now we no longer Count Heiston. We are a Jarl Heiston. Jarl is basically a duke. What if your main character dies? Yes, so if Heiston dies, then his son, Ragnar Heiston's son, he will become the ruler of Sardinia. But because he's very young, it'll be a little difficult for him to rule things, and then people below him might not like the idea that they're being ruled by a 7-year-old. But right now we don't have anyone below us. Our land is small enough for us to handle, so we don't have anyone below us working. Or sub-ruling, you like to call it. I don't know anything about history, but this looks fun. Yeah, it is very fun. I actually got into history after playing Crusader Kings 3. I got into the game, I loved the mechanics, I loved the gameplay, and I was like, oh shit, this sounds fun. And this is very historically accurate game. It tries to make historically accurate decisions as well. The AI is random. Random shit can happen. The Byzantine emperor might just die tomorrow of heart attack, and his 0-year-old son might become the emperor, and then the empire will just collapse. It might happen, but it's random, and the AI tries to make historical decisions and whatnot. So you will play as a son. Yes, I will then play as Ragnar, it's fine. I can handle it because there's not a lot of land over here to divide between people. But I would prefer not to die because I have Jarl Heiston is a very great warrior, and I need a lot of conquering to be done over here. So what we need to do is I'm gonna play a little bit, okay? I'm waiting for the decision to show up. It's gonna take some time. Let's conquer Galura. So this is our neighbor, Juraik Arzoku of Galura. He has 500 men in his army. He doesn't have a lot of gold, so he cannot hire anyone, and he has no allies. What allies shows here is, let me show you. So if you click on West Francia, you see diplomacy. So they're allied to the king of Brittany, which means if Brittany is under war, they can call West Francia to the war. Same goes for West Francia. So right now this person has no allies, so let's just declare war on him and just conquer his land. Declare war, raise the army, and just send it to the capital. And I'm just gonna speed things up. You see right there, 500 men. He's trying to run away. So we know that when we click on this land, you see this person, the ruler, the duke himself. He's not in the army. He has sent someone else to fight, and he himself is inside the fort. So we're gonna take the fort. We're gonna ignore the army, and we're gonna take the fort. It's gonna take 7 months for us to take the fort, but let's do it. So once you capture enough, you can kill the MC and play as Ragnar because he's smart. Right, so I will probably not try to kill him because he's already very old. He's 52 and he's probably gonna die in the next 30 years or so. And by the time Ragnar Heisen will become a much competent ruler, right? Once I become a king, I will make my son a sub-ruler, and I'll give him a particular part of my realm to rule, to see how good he is, basically. But yeah, I don't want to rush to kill, and I don't think we can kill ourselves. There's no decision to kill. There's a way to suicide, but it's not the best way to end things. It's rather better to let things end naturally. That's just the way it is. All right, so let's speed things up. 7 months left, 6 months left. Okay, so he's doing the same thing that we're doing to his capital. He's now trying to take the city of Oristano. What it does is, if he takes the city before I take his capital, the war turns into his favor, right? So we don't want that. So we're gonna take the city before him. Probably it will take 5 months to take the city. For him, it will take 4 months. So maybe he'll take it before us. But because it's not the capital, he's not gonna gain anything from taking the city. He's just taking the city to have leverage against me. I am not at the capital. I am at the army. My wife is at the capital, sure. My son is at the capital, so if he does take capital, there's a chance that he will capture my son. But let's hope that this doesn't really end well. So you see minus 26% of success war score because he occupied the city. So this Oristano, this is my city, but he has currently occupied it. But we're gonna capture his capital anyway. So we captured his capital and we did not manage to capture him, so he probably was not at the capital. So let's go ahead and do battle with him. So we'll put an end to this thing. He tried to run away. So 540 people versus 3,300 people. We're gonna slaughter him. So it gives you an idea of what it is, like how the battle went down and how many people lived, how many people died. We had 3,000 people and only 70 people died. He had 540 people and 535 people died. That's a lot of people. Only 5 people survived. And if you go into details, it will show how many losses and wins there are. I'm not going to get into this now, but it gives you an idea of what actually happened. So we're going to now recapture the city of Oristano. And now it's only going to take us 4 months to recapture what he captured. So kill all of his remaining men from the city, and we have won the war. War score 93%. Enforced demands will accept. So yeah, disband. To the rattling Jarl Heisten. May wisdom ever elude you. You are such a greater foe than I imagine. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply with the demands. And so now we rule the whole of Sardinia. Alright, so we have an event here. So that this game is full of random events and it throws things at you. And you have to make the right choice or the wrong choice. It depends up to you because it's your choice. So Glory Seekers, the taverns of Porto Torres, which I believe is the capital. I believe? No? Where is Porto Torres? Oh, the city of Porto Torres. Oh, it's right there. Over there. So we are currently in a tavern in this city. Why not? The taverns of Porto have seen an influx of glory-seeking warriors as of late. Among them, a group of old and battle-hardened veterans, Huskarls, looking for a new master. There is also a whole host of enthusiastic young men that talk non-stop about fighting glory on foreign shores. Perhaps I should seek to employ some of them. So it gives you a choice. You can bring the Huskarls to my household. I will give them 55 gold, and it will add 125 men to my army. Or I could give money 30 gold to inexperienced men, and it will give me 250 men to my army. Or I could get 50 gold and increase the price of A. But we're not going to do that because it's going to give us stress. So the stress mechanic is, because we're ambitious, we want to do ambitious stuff like adding people to our army, conquering land, raiding land, gaining more money. So this is just gonna make people run away from, like, these people who we are trying to add to the army. This is gonna be saddened by it, and we don't like that, so it's gonna reduce the stress. The last thing is, join me brave warriors, I will lead you to victory. We can add both of them to our thing, but we will gain some stress. So I think I'll choose the last one because I'm a Viking. I can do that. So what that's gonna do is I don't have to spend any money at all, and I still get to add them. And you see now my men has increased from 3,300 to 4,000 in total. My army increased, and I didn't spend a buck. I got a little bit of stress over here, but that's fine. This old guy is nice even when he's 55 or whatever. Yeah, Heistin is in real life as well. In history books, Heistin is considered one of the most legendary Vikings ever. He and his friend over here, Beyond Ironside, they plundered the hell out of the Mediterranean Sea before the start of this game. And that's how Heistin was known to be. He was known as the Wrath, the Viking Wrath of the Mediterranean, because he was so famous at plundering and looting and killing infidels, which is Christians and Muslims, that he was considered as a very legendary Viking. Okay, so we have a thing over here which is about domain limit. Now, we have a limit of 3 holdings. Because of our low ranking, we can only hold up to 3 counties. So this is a county, Tortoli, this is a county Cagliari, and this is a county called Arborca. Now we have 2 more counties, which, yeah, we do control, but it will become difficult for us to rule because we are currently above our limit. We should technically only hold 3 lands. It doesn't mean we cannot. We can, but it will reduce our taxes. It will give us more stress because there's more land to rule. So we're gonna give away this land. All we have is we're gonna grant to, let's say, I'll give it to my steward. Yes. So now my steward is a sub-ruler. He rules Galura in my place. I still own the land. It's still my land. I can build whatever I want over here, but he rules it now. He has a small little army that he can use to whatever he wants to do. But yeah. So if you get Aglabid and that place, you can control the whole sea. Yes. So I will get Aglabid. So this is what I want to do. I think I should find it here. Yeah. So this is a decision. So this is the decision tree. Here I can take decisions that will affect my gameplay. For example, call hunt. So we can go on a hunt and hunt something and lose stress. So because we gain stress from our recent decision, we can now lose stress with this decision, but it's gonna cost us 67 gold. Similarly, these are minor decisions that you can take on a daily basis. These major decisions, these are like once in a lifetime decisions. And one of the important ones is securing the Mediterranean Sea. Oops, I clicked off. So basically, it reads, with key islands across the Mediterranean secured and acting as watchtowers of the sea, it is time for us to claim ownership over the waves. And if we take the decision, what we're going to get is we're going to get the kingdom of Baliotirhania, and we're going to get a lot of dynasty fame, and we're going to get a bonus to our house. We'll be called the Masters of the Mediterranean. But what we require right now is we require Mallorca, which is these 3 islands. We require Sardinia, which we already have. We require Corsica, which we need to conquer. And we require Salimid, which is basically Sicily in modern day. Now I need to conquer these lands in order to take the decision and become the king of Mediterranean. That's the goal of my whole stream today. So because it's difficult to get Corsica, so now you see over here, Corsica belongs to this person, Duke Adalberto of Tuscany. He rules Corsica, but he's a sub-ruler or a vassal to the King of Italy. King of Italy is King Louis II, the younger of Italy. Now we need to declare war on the king himself. We cannot declare war on the duke because the duke is protected by the king, because it's the king's land that we're gonna conquer. So we need to declare war on the king. Now Italy is very big. It has a lot of army and it belongs to the Carling dynasty. And everybody else over here also belongs to the same dynasty. So they might join the war. So it is right now difficult for me to declare war on Italy. It will be very difficult to defeat them. We can, but it's just it's advised not to go blindly in a war, seeing the numbers like, oh, we have 4,000, they have 2,500. They can form an alliance. They can bring their house members. They can call their family members. They can, with their money, they can buy mercenaries that they can use it in the war. Don't declare war on Italy. It's big. Yeah, it is big. It's quite big. I will try to get Mallorca. So Mallorca, we do require these 3 islands, yes. And they have a very small army, 700 people. And they are in debt. They already don't have money. They already owe the money to someone else. So we can easily declare war, conquer Duchy, and we'll get all the 3 islands in one war. So let's do that. Raise the army and send it to the capital. Oh, we have a new event. With a tired yet blissful smile, Vigdis, my wife, presents me with a perfect little son. Who will you become, my child, and what shall I call you? So this is our newborn son. He currently has Thorolfur as the name. We can change it. Let's change it to a good Norse name. Collier, Berger, Hreirekar, Olafur, Olvir, Frodi, Toshti, Einar. Call him alright, Eremides, how do you pronounce that? Eremides it is. So my second son is not called Eremides Heiston's son, and he's already very good looking. So we're gonna educate the child ourselves. So we turn him into a good warrior. We need to education focus on martial. So we know what education we need to give him. Martial education will make him a warrior. Stewardship education will make him a good steward. Stewards basically earn a lot of money for the realm. Learning education is he'll become a wise king. Diplomatic, he'll become a good diplomatic person. He will know how to talk his way out of things. Intrigue education, this is the most fun thing to play. Intrigue education is basically the study of secrecy, shadows, and careful planning. This is the ultimate Game of Thrones when you play as an intrigue character, because you get to control whatever goes around you. It's difficult. I'll explain to you basically. So there are these intrigue decisions over here. You see murder. There's more decisions. You can abduct someone when you are an intrigue person. You can fabricate a hook. What is a hook? Is basically a favor, right? You do something for someone else and then you get a hook. You give someone a land and they owe you something back. That is how favors work. You do a favor for someone else who's not your friend, and then they will do a favor for you. And intrigue people will fabricate hooks. They'll fabricate that, hey, I did something for you, which they didn't actually do, but they'll make you believe that they did something for you, so you owe them something. So that's a very important decision. Good night. Yes, good night. See you later. Okay, so give him everything to the son so that they fight. Yeah, no, that is difficult. You need to choose one particular focus. You cannot have an all-rounder. It will be very difficult for that to happen. All right, let's take our 4,000 men here and let's conquer these islands. Okay, battle at Mallorca. We slaughtered it. We slaughtered all the men. Only 2 people survived, and one of them is the ruler of Mallorca himself. So yeah, we won the war, and now the islands belong to us. Now let's give this land to our sons. My elder son. Where is my elder son? I do not see my eldest son. Where is my eldest son? Grand titles. Oh, so I have partition law. So I cannot give my son these lands because he does not stand to inherit. There's a whole situation with inheritance. Like you have to equally divide between your two sons. If you have two sons, you have to equally divide all your land between them. Fine. So let's just give this away to a local a noble, a Norse Viking noble. Alright, and let's give him the rest of the island as well. So we still remain in our domain size. And we forgot to give this one away. So let's give it away to, not us two, but let's give it away to someone else. Let's give it away to our marshal. Perfect. So what happens here, we have a council. If you've watched Game of Thrones, you know that there's a thing called small council, where there's these people who advise the king, the duke, the ruler, about things, about what is going on, what's not going on, and they help him rule the realm, because one person, as we know, cannot rule the whole realm. It requires a whole battalion of people to rule the land. Council is something similar to that, but they basically help you on day-to-day smaller things. Some things that don't require a king's or a duke's attention directly, but requires some attention from the crown. A council and the king and the queen, they all together make the whole kingdom, or a duchy, or a earldom, as we see over here. A marshal is basically, he handles everything that has to do with my army. He trains all my peoples, he trains all my champions like knights, he recruits more people. That is his job to do. A chancellor, what he will do. Wait, why is he? Okay, he's unlanded. So he's currently on to foreign affairs. So he will try to make deals and amends with foreign people. But we need to change it to domestic affairs. So we need our chancellor, because we don't care about our neighbors right now, because they're all our enemies. This is a Muslim leader, and he does not like us because we are of a different faith, and we do not like him because we want Sicily. Similar to Italy, we don't like Italy. Italy doesn't like us because he's a Christian and we are not. We are a Norse Viking. So we don't care about our surrounding people. So we need to switch this to domestic affairs. What this will do is he will now handle business that has to do with my vassals under me, including the distant vassals. So the chancellor is basically like the hand of king. Now he will deal with my vassals instead of me, and he will make sure to increase their opinion of me. A steward basically handles tax collection. He collects tax for the whole realm and then delivers it to me. He pays salary for everyone on the council. And then there's the spy master. Spy master is used to find things. You find secrets. You build a spy network. If you want to find what secrets the king of the Italy is holding, then you can click on find secrets and click on Italy's capital, and then she will set up a network to find secrets in Italy. So spy master is very important as well. Right now we have Mallorca, we have Sardinia. Now all we need is Sicily and Corsica. For Corsica, I think I'll just declare war right now. I think right now might be a good time to do so. We might be risking it. He might, the king of Italy might call someone else, but let's just do it. So declare war, conquer duchy. So now it's in red because we do not have faith. We don't have fame enough. We have only 136 fame, prestige. We require 750 to be able to declare the war. So let's wait till our prestige increases. Meanwhile, we can go and raid. That is an important thing as a Viking. That's what Vikings are. They raid. So here it is. Now we have 4,200 people who can raid whatever land they want to. We can raid the Rome if we want to, but we're not going to do that. Rome is a difficult place to raid. So let's just raid Napoli over here. So if you raid this place, you will get 25 gold added to our chest. And so we'll go by this coast of southern Italy, raiding place to place. Okay, we have something over here. A random event. Nothing calms me quite as efficiently as a full glass of mead. After a hard day, after a good day, after any day, I have found solace in the bottom of the cup. Again, so see, randomly, this person now got addicted to alcohol. So either we become a drunkard, or I gain some stress, but I fight the will to drink. So let's do that. Let's gain some stress, but now we no longer drunkard. A drunkard is a very bad thing to have because then we'll lose on some sweet points. We have another event over here today. Ulfar is my Hofgod. The Hofgod is basically like father of the church. So I have a church, not a church, but basically a temple in my capital, and he is the spiritual head of that temple. Today Ulfar held a fiery sermon for all of the children of the court. They were apparently spellbound as he zealously read from the heroic saga. My son Ragnar now seems certain that he is destined for greatness, claiming that Odin supports him indiscriminately. So this event is used to shape his personality. Right now he is ambitious and charming. So we can take this decision so that he stays ambitious. Ambitious is good, right? Because you get +1 to everything, but you also gain some more stress when you do gain stress. Or we can change and replace his ambitious trait to zealous. What zealous is basically is that he has a strong connection to his own religion. So he will be then more willing to fight against people that are of a different religion. Or we can replace that with sadistic. Sadistic is, as you know, sadistic. It gives you intrigue, it gives you prowess, and we don't really want that. We're going for a more diplomatic build. So let's keep it for ambitious for now. So now our son will become ambitious. He has become ambitious. We'll just have to wait and see where it goes. So right now let's raid Napoli. So we have raided, it will take only 10 days, and we have raided. So right now in our army you see there are 25 raid loot that we have acquired. That is from the barony of Napoli. Now we're going to the city of Amalfi and we're gonna raid that as well. In a matter of 10 days we have acquired 10 more gold. So similarly we're gonna keep going from shore to shore and acquiring more and more gold. Again, more gold. 14 gold from this place as well. And by the way, we don't just get gold, we also capture prisoners. We take whatever we can get. And you see over here we have a ransom. So basically the prince of Salerno has a wife, and we accidentally or purposefully imprisoned his wife during one of our raids. Now he's willing to give us 50 gold in exchange for his wife. We don't really have a good use for her, so we'll just take the gold, accept, and we got the 50 gold. He gets his wife back. We just ransomed her. Perfect. We've raided this place as well. Now let's step into southern. They don't have a lot of army as well, so we can easily raid these lands without any issue. More gold. 15 gold over here. Perfect. Things are perfect. Again, someone ransomed. Oh, so this person in Napoli has his son captured by me. Now he's willing to pay me 10 gold coins. Just 10. I would rather not decline, because 10 gold coin is not like, if he thinks his own son is worth 10 gold, then yeah, I'm not doing that. 10 gold, no, I'll keep him. I'll keep him as a prisoner, and I'll sacrifice him to my god. I'll tell you what that does to me. Hey, yo, Napoleon. Wait, what do you mean? Alright, I have got this. Right. 9 gold from here, sure, why not? 6 gold from here, sure, why not? 9 gold from here, sure, why not? Oh, we have an event. A sick feeling is rising in my stomach. I try to make it back to my chambers, but the door shrinks before my very eyes. Wait, what is happening? Suddenly I can smell something. Something I know I have smelled before, but where? A servant asks me if I'm alright, but I cannot answer her. I cannot do anything. How long was I gone? So this event, oh, this is bad. It will reveal itself what happens later. So again, we took someone. So he's the mayor of the city, and we conquered him. He has a lot of gold, so we will ransom him eventually. Is Napoleon the ruler of the empire? No. Napoleon arrives in the 18th century, I believe, or the 19th century. Yeah, the 19th century. So there's still like 1,000 years for Napoleon to come back. Still very long time. Alright, let's conquer this land. Oh, there it is. Lately I have experienced some episodes. Something comes over me taking charge of my body and leaves me tired and confused. I have tried to keep it from people, try to hide it, but it is hard to control something that comes and goes as it pleases. They're looking at me as if I'm possessed. And now I have become possessed. So this is a trait where a sudden change in emotion, awareness and ability that Haitian experiences can only be explained by spirits inhabiting his body. Yeah, so this is not good at all. We can possess is bad because it gives it's a penalty to health because we're not thinking straight and whatnot. Talk to God. Yeah, well let's see if that helps. So let's finish off our raiding thing over here. Someone is trying to. Oh, so I conquered their son. Oh, the whole duke, right? No. He's the what do you call it? He's the holder of the mosque, and I captured his son, I believe. Yeah, and he wants him back for 30 gold. Sure, 30 gold sounds reasonable. Alright, so we get another event because we are now currently raiding Reggio Calabria. This event says, the settlement of Reggio Calabria, an important stronghold in Greater Reggio Calabria, has fallen to my raiders. We have the run of vast tracts of land and many of the quavering subjects and shining treasure of Emir Saudan to choose from. The troops stand ready.